As some of you may have heard, there was an incident last night, and one of your recent graduates here was killed. We need you all to be on the lookout for any suspicious activity.
You guys just moved in, huh? Upstairs? How do you know? Can you hear me through the wall? Only sometimes.
I saw the film and read the novel before the film ever came out because I was approached about the remake, and I was so touched by the way Lindquist had told this story, this coming-of-age story, and found a way to take a story that is a vampire story, but uses a metaphor as a metaphor to explore the pain of being 12 and of growing up under difficult circumstances and how overwhelming the world feels and how do you deal with your dark side and all of those things. So I was so taken with that, and I ended up writing to Lindquist, and I said to him, you know, I'm drawn to this not just because it's a brilliant genre story, which it is, but also because it's clearly such a deep personal story about that time of life, and it really reminds me of my own childhood in ways. And he wrote back to me and said, you know, I'm really excited about the fact that you are involved in this because I love Cloverfield. I thought it was a really fun take on an old story, giant monster movie. And he goes, that's really what I was trying to do with Let the Right One In. He said, but I'm much more excited to know that it has personal meaning for you because it's the story of my childhood, he said. And so I felt like it was very important for me to then honor and protect that part of the story. It was the thing that made me want to do it. And in adapting it, the thing that was important to me was to find the way to take that story and its essence and put it in an American landscape. And to do it, you know, he grew up in the 80s, and a lot of the book is about growing up at that time in Sweden. And I grew up in the 80s in the United States, and I wanted to take sort of those elements that was sort of the time of Reagan America and the idea of a new day and the idea of sort of the evil empire and what was good and what was evil, and that America was good and evil was outside, it was others, it was the Soviets. And this movie was about dealing with your inner demons, and that to me was an interesting context to put this in. So that was really my approach.
Sometimes you're very lucky and things come to you at the same time at the right time, and Matt was very passionate about the original. He knew the book very well. He's put a lot of his own personal experiences into the characters, particularly of Owen, you know, played by Cody. And when I first saw it, you know, I thought it was the most beautiful thing, the film, the original, and I hope we've done it justice. Clearly, you know, it's a complex thing to do a remake so soon after the original. But I hope that our story will get to a wider audience, obviously, because we're shooting in English. We shot it in America. And I'm very, very happy with it. I'm very, very happy.
There's no way we could have made this movie without two extraordinary 12-year-old actors, and which is what they were at the time we shot this. And the truth of the matter is that I felt that if I couldn't find two kids who could pull off this kind of emotional complexity, that the film would really suffer. One of the things about the Swedish original that's so amazing is those performances and that relationship is central to everything. And if you don't believe in it and if you don't connect to it, you don't have a movie. And I was really concerned with finding two kids who could pull it off. And when they came in, each of them impressed me so deeply. And then when we started working, it was amazing. They're truly wise beyond their years.
Do you think there's such a thing as evil? Help me.
Hello? You okay?
What are you? I need blood to live.
I definitely say that this vampire film, I guess you can't really pigeonhole this movie into a specific genre, you know, because it's thriller, but it's not horror, and it's not gory, but it's romantic, and it's this weird genre of everything put together. But I definitely say the difference in this film compared to a different vampire film is that it's deeper and it's darker and it's grittier than most. It's the reality to vampires.
With this film, definitely it's on the serious side. I mean, with vampires you can take it any way. Like you can turn it into a love story, or you can turn it into a horror like this. But it's not really a horror. You could put it in a genre, but it's really kind of a love story and seeing teenagers grow up into their world and dealing with everything themselves.
It's about being trapped. That's what it's about for me. That's why they kept coming back to me. Everybody in the movie is trapped in their lives, and it's you know, I think it speaks to young people. I do. I think, you know, I was just saying that they, you know, made a movie. If somebody made a movie when I was 12 like this, I would have said they made this just for me. This is great. This is my movie. How did they know?
To be perfectly frank with you, it's not that difficult because it was such a beautiful original. We had to move a few things around in terms of pacing, in terms of some of the scenes and so forth. Clearly, there's an expectation of a film this size, bigger size, to maybe have more scares, if you like, more set pieces. There are a few more of those. But fundamentally, the biggest challenge was to find actors who could compare with the originals. And obviously in Cody and Chloe and Richard Jenkins, we've got 3 phenomenal actors who are really quite extraordinary.
His character I like because he's very to himself. He has to deal with everything, and he has to be really strong because he gets bullied at school. He can't tell his parents because they're like split up. The mum just gets drunk every night. So he has to deal with a lot of stuff himself. So when Abby comes, he feels better because he has something to look forward to. And I think that was cool about him.
I definitely say portraying the character of Abby was really amazing because I was able to take this character that has so many dimensions and try my best. Hopefully I do well, but try my best to portray this character in a different light, and they did such a good job on Let the Right One In that it's such an honor to do Let Me In and take on the character, and I hope everyone likes it.
In this movie, you don't want to be a vampire. I think that's kind of the bottom line. It's that, you want to be a vampire? No, I don't think so. It's not a great way to hang out.
No, that's kind of what this whole thing is about. After you see this film, you will not want to be a vampire. You got Twilight, which is really awesome, and I really like that. And then you got this, which is kind of the real side of being a vampire. And funny enough, some people actually could, relate to the story. And just the feeling of being alone. And yeah, that's really what it's about.